This
So this is
conference will now be recorded.
okay. So yeah, so this is how the R Studio will look like, and this is where we are going to code our programs.
Okay,
If
is
you
there any
install R,
link to download RStudio, or I can just Google it?
oh, 1 second. I'm sorry. So
No
yeah,
problem.
so
Mhm.
R Studio is free. You can actually download it from internet. If you just say R Studio download, it's
Okay.
totally free. Okay,
Okay. Mhm.
and it has R software r.exe built inside, so you don't have to install R explicitly. So R
Mm.
Studio is built over R itself,
Okay,
so you
then
can
I'll
use
download it.
it. Yeah, yeah. And this is the most popular tool for doing the program. So
Mhm. Okay.
okay, so let me see if I can give you the link itself. Yeah, I've shared the link on the chat.
Yeah, I got
Uh,
it.
Yeah, and you can download the free version. You don't have to download the paid one. Free
Okay.
version is good for our program. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
feel free, so
Thank
no
you.
problem. Sure. Coming
And
back,
and please start from the basic things, because as you know, I'm not from the IT background.
no problem. No
Mhm.
problem. We'll start from very basic. Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
We'll do small program, big program, and I'm going to train you like since that's the reason why I asked you about your background. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're doing your masters, uh, and you have other like you don't have programming background before, so yeah, I'll
No. Yeah.
keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So before, like, what is a program? Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
program is nothing but set of instructions that we give to a computer to perform tasks for us,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
program is set of instructions. So we will be writing set of instructions that we send it to the program to the computer, and computer will respond.
Okay.
So it's like you have a servant, and you're telling your servant to do this
Mm-hmm.
thing for me, and servant as your computer will do it. Now
Okay.
that's the main thing. Okay, so when you talk about analytics or data science or those are the work that you want to do, but you need to talk to your servant in some language, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since computer is a machine language. Since it's a machine, it's not a human being. It
Mm-hmm.
it understands machine level language.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so machine,
Yeah.
as you know, it only uses binary numbers, zeros and ones.
Mm-hmm.
So what has been done? Like programming is not new; it has been there for ages, right? Maybe not ages, but yeah, for more than decades.
Mm-hmm.
So what people who are developing these languages they're trying to do is they're trying to build a wrapper over machine level language, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that we don't have to learn machine level language.
Mm-hmm.
Learning machine level language is difficult, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And zeros and ones. So imagine if you have to write a statement, if you have to, give a line of command, it will be like 30, 40 letters or even more than that.
Yeah.
So people have been trying to develop wrapper, and there are different types of application, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
have the statistics kind of application which we'll be doing. You have
Yeah.
UI kind of applications. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
UI
Mm-hmm.
is like designing, say games or any nice UI looking user interface. It could be
Mm-hmm.
web programming, designing applications for websites and all. So there are different
Mm-hmm.
types of work that we want computer to perform, and then different languages has been developed for different
Mm-hmm.
type of work. Okay,
Yeah.
R is one language. So when you say language, you could do using SAS, Python, Java, any language you can use to do your work.
Okay.
R is getting popular, and in fact, R has been designed to perform statistical based kind of language.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, R is designed for statistics, what kind of work.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the reason why R has been developed is to make our statistical program easy. Okay,
Okay.
and I'm going to show you some examples on the screen how it is easy, in the sense how it can be easy for us to write one line of code can achieve lot more um,
VM.
yes, output. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so with that background we will start programming. What happens is, so have you heard of interpreter, right?
Interpreter. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, right. So let's say if your friend or your, let's say you are into business and your business partner can only
Mm-hmm.
speak French, you can't
Mm-hmm.
speak French.
Yeah.
You'll have interpreter in between who's going to translate what you said in
Translate.
French, and
Yeah.
then reply. Their response will
Mm-hmm.
be translated back into English. So
Yeah.
same way in this programming world, you have interpreter and compiler. Okay, two types
Okay.
of software. Okay, two types of
Mm-hmm.
software which will convert your language, okay,
Mm-hmm.
or whether it's R or Python or whatever language, into machine level language. And when
Oh,
machine gives the reply, the machine level output is then converted into English
or
language.
language.
Okay?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
difference between interpreter and compiler is, interpreter will translate each line, okay,
Mm-hmm.
whereas compiler will translate complete set of instruction. So let's say if you have to perform some action, if you have to write 10 lines of code, if
Mm-hmm.
you have compiler based programming language like Java or
Mm-hmm.
C, C++, if you have a
Mm-hmm.
compiler based language, it will wait for you to enter all the 10 lines. Okay, then
Okay.
try to
Mm-hmm.
convert all the 10 lines into program. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
into machine
Yeah.
level language, and the response is also given per line. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so if you make a, let's say if you make mistakes in line number 6 and line number 10, in
Mm-hmm.
interpreter in compiler based language, it will give you both the errors, saying your line number 6 has problem, line number 10 has problem.
Mm-hmm.
R is an interpreter based language. Okay,
Okay.
that means
Mm-hmm.
your each line of code gets translated into machine level language. So if you write 10 lines of code, still line number 1 is executed, okay,
Mm-hmm.
given the answer to you, then line number 2 is executed. So if you make mistake in line number 6 and 10, it will only show you first mistake in line number 6, okay, because it's doing line by line. So it will show you the mistake in 6. When you fix the 6 error, then it will show
Mm-hmm.
you a mistake in 10. Okay, so it's a small
Okay.
difference. Compiler will compile everything into machine level language, and every all the output into the language that we are using, like Java. Interpreter will translate just line by line. Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
so that's how R is different from Java, that it is an interpreter based language.
Okay.
Okay, so with that background, let's start some coding. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Python R, and I would speak out Python because I do this course in both R and Python. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, there are a lot of similarities between R and Python as well. So both are,
Python is also a tool, right? Like a R.
yes, R, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's more
Mm.
powerful than R because you can do a lot more, but R is specifically designed for data science kind of work.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So R and Python both are case sensitive. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's some language like SQL programming which is not case sensitive. Whether you type in small letter, capital letters, it will work and give the same answer.
Mm-hmm.
Python, R, Java, these are case sensitive. So if
Okay.
command is meant to be in small, and
Mm-hmm.
mostly it is small, it will continue to
Mm-hmm.
be in small. Okay. So if
Okay.
you type in capital letters, it's going to give you error.
Okay. In R, right?
In R.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start our first program for the day. This is our studio. This is the angle from where we will type our program. The first simple program is to print. Okay, this is going to print. So one advantage is the moment you type B, it will give you all the options that exist with B for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say if you forget also, you'll be able to remember. Of course, print you will not forget, but there could be some complex,
Mm-hmm.
functions which you might forget. So
Okay.
it will tell you, and it also tells you what it does. See,
Okay.
print prints its argument and returns it invisibly. Okay, it is a generic function, which means that new printing methods can easily add it for new class. It's generic means anybody can use it. It prints the argument. So whatever arguments you give, it will just print it back. Okay, so one is argument and second word is returns. So I'm going to tell you about these two, argument and return. So I say print and argument. So every function will have a simple bracket open and close. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see something like this, print bracket open and close, simple bracket. Okay. The
Mm-hmm.
this kind of bracket open and close, it means that it is a function. Okay.
Okay.
And function will accept some input and it will return some output. Okay. So function
Okay.
is like, let's say there's an agent, passport agent.
Mm-hmm.
You want your passport, you give all the documents to the agent. So
Mm-hmm.
arguments are like what you pass to the function. Documents that you pass to the agent
Okay.
becomes the argument, and after let's say couple of weeks, agent gives you your passport.
Mm-hmm.
That's the output that function has performed. You
Okay.
don't have to worry about the complexity that agent has to go through. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
same thing. What happens is, and you will see the reason why R is getting popular is because there are many people, okay, are developers who have who are writing difficult functions for us. So when
Mm-hmm.
function is already there, okay, we just have to
Mm-hmm.
use that function. You give the values and you get the values. We don't have to
Mm-hmm.
worry how that function is written. What is the logic behind it? Okay,
Yeah.
logic behind it could be complex, and we don't have to because we want our work to get done fast. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so print is a generic function which has already been defined, which has its own meaning. Okay, we
Mm-hmm.
don't have to get into meaning. We just say hello,
Okay.
how are you? Okay, so
Yeah.
the moment we put this in the double quote, it becomes what is called a string type. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
every value that you enter has to be of some type. Okay, it's called character type in R. So character type means it will have alphabets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like name of the city, state, sentence like how are you, these
Mm-hmm.
will have all the alphabets. Okay, so these
Yeah.
are called um, your character. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it will have
Yeah.
characters. You can have how are you to number, something like that. Doesn't matter. Okay, it still would mean the same. Okay, it'll
Okay.
have it'll have characters and alphabets. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the difference is that when you put as a character, okay, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot. So character, and we'll talk about it. Characters has some specific characteristics, some
Mm-hmm.
function that you can perform on characters. Okay, like for example, I'll explain you numbers which you'll understand easily. Then we'll talk about characters later.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say if we have numbers, we can
Mm-hmm.
perform sum, addition on two numbers, correct? If I give
Yeah.
you 5 and 8, you can perform sum of two numbers. You can perform subtraction of two numbers. You can perform multiplication of two numbers. You can perform division of two numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can
Yeah.
perform these actions on numbers. You cannot perform division if it is a characters. You got it what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, and but still characters can perform some actions which we will learn when we learn more about characters. So
Mm-hmm.
the moment I put it in double quote, it means it's a character,
Mm-hmm.
and when I hit enter, it printed hello, how are you. It
Okay.
executed the statement. Okay, Print is to print whatever you write inside.
Okay.
Okay. So this is our first program, first line of code we have written. Print whatever you put inside, it will print as it is. Now I can say print 5. It will print 5. Now print 5 is an integer value. Integer means, minus infinity to plus infinity, no decimal point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it
Yeah.
minus 10, minus 20, minus 1000, plus 1000, 5, 10, 0, everything is accepted. But the moment you put decimal point, it becomes float type. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Integer means a whole number. Okay. Plus or minus
Yeah.
whole number.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you are giving as an integer, you don't have to give the quotation. Quotation is used only for character type.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll, okay. So
What
if
is
it is a noun,
quotation?
this double quotation here, something like this.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. This you give only when your type, character type. Okay.
Characters.
Now I'm going to write third line of code. I'm going to introduce something called as variable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Variable one, let's say. Variable is the name that we give to values.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this. Mm, Instructor, right? When
Mm-hmm.
you say instructor, it means it's somebody. So instructor means someone who is going to teach, right? Now,
Yeah.
but who is your instructor? It could be me or anybody, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, so what we say is name is kind of variable. Okay, what is the name of the instructor? Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
in Python, it has, you can actually. So, one second, one second.
Yeah. No
Give me
problem.
1 minute. Yeah.
No problem.
Oh, shit. Take second. Come, 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 come. Yeah, just wait. I'm back now.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, Python gives us that flexible. Sorry, R. R and Python, sometimes they are interchangeable in the concept which I'm talking about. Of course, the code will be in R. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
what we do is we um define a variable called name, and we can
Mm-hmm.
give that value. Okay. Now, one second. I got it. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry for the
Yeah, no
disturbance.
problem.
No, I'm back. Okay, so talking about variables. Okay, so what I can do is I can define, let's say, name one equal to Gaurav. Now, what I said is uh, name is a string, right? It cannot be a number. So
Mm-hmm.
we spoke till now about three types of values. One is
Mm-hmm.
character, another is integer, and float. Integer is number without decimal, float is number
Mm-hmm.
without decimal, and your name is a string,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got that. Um,
Yeah.
so now, advantage of um, your declaring as a variable is if I say print and I say name one, okay, and I run, it is printing Gaurav. It's printing the value which is there in this variable. So one thing you have to
Okay.
keep in mind is if it is a variable, if it is a variable, you do not put in the quotation irrespective of whatever values it carries.
Okay.
Variable name here, name one is called variable and it is
Mm-hmm.
carrying character. We could have
Mm-hmm.
said name one equal to 5 also, okay, number 5 or
Mm-hmm.
5.5 float type. But
Mm-hmm.
when you are printing a variable, it is without quote. If
Okay.
I, let's say, if I put quote here, okay, then R will treat this as character, and
Okay.
instead of printing Gaurav, name one will be printed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so variables are printed without quotation. Any programming
Okay.
language you take, okay, Python,
Mm-hmm.
R, Java, C, C++. Pythons are, sorry, variables are never put it in quotation. Variables are printed without quotation. It means that it stores a value. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
so this is name. Okay, now advantage of variable is you can say print name one. Okay, Gaurav. You can change the value of the variable. You can say name one equal to say Sachin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can say name one equal to Sachin, but still you can say print name one. You did
One.
not change the main code. You change the value of variable, and the code still works fine. So
Okay.
okay. So when you are booking a ticket, right? Let's say you are booking a airline ticket,
Mm-hmm.
and when you put your details, right, and when you
Mm-hmm.
get your ticket in the PDF, your
Mm-hmm.
name is given,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how it is happening? They are have variables. So the moment you enter the name, your name, date of journey, or flight details, and all, there will be variables. Each of these variables will store these values. There will
Okay.
be a variable called name, which will store your name. Will be like date of journey will store your date of journey. All
Mm-hmm.
those things. So the code to generate that PDF is same. They don't have to rewrite again and again for name. The variables is then changed in the program. So the program to generate that PDF will remain same. What will change is the variables.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you put new variables and the program is run to generate PDF, it will be generated PDF on your data. If I enter my data in the variables, it will enter PDF for my data. If you put name here, something like print, say Sachin, then I cannot use it for Gaurav, right? Because print is using fixed variable. So that's why variables
Okay.
are used. Variable, that name itself says variable. Variable is used to store variable values, values which can be changed.
Okay.
Okay, it is used to store variables. Okay, values which can be
So
changed.
variable. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. So variable
no problem.
is you are saying that whatever we put in the brackets is a variable, right?
No, 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 not the bracket. Bracket, it can be variable, it can be string, number, anything, but without quote is a variable. Okay,
Okay. Without
what
quotation.
is what is variable is this name1 equal to Gaurav. So this is how we declare a variable. Now, for
Mm-hmm.
example, I have not used name2 anywhere, right? So the moment if I
Mm-hmm.
try to print name2 here, okay, it will say error, object name2 not found, because we have not declared name2.
Yes, not. Okay.
Okay, so we declare the variable first and then we start using it. I
Okay.
mean, right now it's the first day, so we are only seeing print as one use, but there are multiple uses. We'll be doing some complex programs as well. You will see how variables are used. Yeah, now go ahead with
Mhm.
your question.
Okay, if we want to like put print name two, then we have to type like name two is equal to Sachin, right?
So first you will say name2 equal to Sachin, and then you will say print name2.
Print name two.
So if
Okay.
yeah, so if you saying print name2 equal to Sachin, there's no, it doesn't make sense because you are printing what you want to print name2. So name2 has to be defined first, then printed.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what the first talks about. Okay. So if you by mistake give pre capital name1, I said print p should be small, but if you give p capital, you enter. It says could not find function p print because does not understand. R does not understand what is print with p capital P,
Mm-hmm.
because the function that we have is small p, small r, small I, small n, small t, right? All small.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Moment if you make mistake, it'll say could not find the function print.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So when I'm saying x, I'm defining a variable x. This is the way to define. Okay. X equal to 5, or you can even say x less than hyphen 5. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's like arrow,
Mm-hmm.
left arrow. That
Yeah.
means 5 is going into x. So x
Mm-hmm.
is a variable which takes the value 5.
Mm-hmm.
You can define in third way. 5 reverse side arrow, say
X.
x.
Mm-hmm.
That means 5 again going into x, right? So 5 is
Mm-hmm.
constant, the value that is
Mm-hmm.
being set in x. X is equal to 5. Okay, so all three
Mm-hmm.
means the same.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so now I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
x equal to 5. Now let's say I put y equal to 9. Now if I
So
say
the
x
it's
plus,
a hyphen or it's a minus?
um, it's the same thing,
It's the same.
right? Yeah, so it is minus. Minus and hyphen is the same key, right? Not underscore. It
Okay.
should be the minus one. Okay. Now you have x
Mm-hmm.
plus y. The moment you say x plus y, you will get 14. Okay. Are you making a note, or should I give you a couple of minutes to take down the notes?
Actually, I can. It's a recording, right? I can
Yeah,
see
yeah,
the
you can.
screen too.
Okay. Yeah, you can get the recording as well for sure. But if you make
Yeah.
some notes, right? So when you download
Mhm.
your R and install it, you can practice
Yeah.
some of these. You may not
Yeah.
write all the lines because some of
Yeah. I'm
these things you
also
can.
writing. Yes. Some. Yeah.
Perfect.
Whatever I
Perfect.
pick, I wrote it.
Perfect.
But
Perfect.
I also
Perfect.
need a recording.
Recording will be given to you. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Recording you
Yeah.
can refer in future anytime. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So this is how you assign values and you can add to values. Okay. Third one is a special operator called as colon. So if I say z equal to 10 colon 30,
Hmm.
10 colon 30, and I say print z. Z is a variable. What is the
Hmm.
value of z?
It's 10:30, right?
10 colon 30. Exactly. So when
Hmm.
you say 10 colon 30, it means 10, 11, 12, up to 30. That's what it means, colon. If you
Okay.
want a value in in range, in this kind of series to be saved, you can
Mm-hmm.
use colon. You don't have to say z equal to 10, z equal to 11, something like that. Okay.
Okay.
Directly, if you say z equal to 10 colon 30, it will give you 10 colon 30.
And what is one?
No, okay. So one is the line number. Okay. So when you have you know multiple lines, it gives you.
Mm-hmm.
So one indicates line number. Okay. It's so everywhere you see one, right? It means line number. For
A line.
example, if I say 300,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and now if I say print Z, yeah, so it says
Yeah, it
first
line number.
element
Okay.
is here, 31st element is here. Okay, so
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
you don't have to manually count. So it'll tell you
Oh,
31st element is here. This is the
okay.
61st element. This is
Yeah.
271st element.
Yeah.
Because
I
if
got it.
yeah, yeah. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what it'll tell you. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is about colon. Uh, so first I'm going to do some simple programs, and then we will do some logical programs where we have to use some logic. I'll explain you. Okay. First, let's
Mm-hmm.
understand some basic concepts. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we have seen string. We have seen int. Now we will see what is called as logical values.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there are five main basic data type. Data type means the data type of the values that we can give.
Mm-hmm.
You can give multiple values, but there are five basic values,
Mm-hmm.
which are your string, character basically, characters,
Mm-hmm.
integer, float. Then
Mm-hmm.
you have logical and complex. Complex means root of square root of minus one. Okay, so
Okay.
square root of one is one. Okay, square root of minus
Yeah.
one cannot be defined. So we have something called as, in complex mathematic terms, we call it as I. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I stands for square root of minus one.
Yeah.
So when if I say I into I, it
Mm-hmm.
becomes minus one.
One. Yeah. Minus one.
Okay. Mm, okay. So yeah. So we were at okay. So here I'm going to show you, say var one equal to TRUE, all capital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you define all capital, it becomes variable. Sorry, the variable takes the value of logical. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So logical values, there are only two, true and false.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it is always in caps.
Mm-hmm.
Now if you see this, though it is all characters, but we have not put it in double quote. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
because the moment you put in double quote, it becomes character. It will no longer be
Mm-hmm.
logical.
Okay.
To be it so to declare it as a logical, it has to be without quote and all capital. If you give small, again it's going to give you error. Okay,
Okay.
see, it is changing itself.
Yeah.
It's changing itself because it is a logical. But if you want to define small, you can define very well. If you put double
Mm-hmm.
quote, then it's not a problem. Okay, but in
Yeah.
that case, it becomes a character, not a logical.
Okay. And I have one question.
Yeah.
Like when you put, is there any difference? Like when you put print and then
Hmm.
now you put var variable one. So is there any difference? I mean, with the what do you call command or something like that?
Okay. So there is no difference. Okay. Okay. See, it gives you the same values. What happens is when you are doing on this angular thing, right? This is the
Mm-hmm.
angle thing. Then there
Mm-hmm.
is no problem. Okay. Um, I was going to talk about it. So
Okay.
what happens when you put it in this angular thing? It is called interpreter, and every time you run, you hit enter, it goes to the next line. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you may not, if you're writing, say, complex program of 20 lines, 30 lines, 40 lines, then
Mm-hmm.
this can be irritating. Um,
Yeah.
you write a line, you hit enter, output comes. Again, you enter, output comes. You don't want output now. You want to see the
Mm-hmm.
output after 20 lines of code,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You write the 20 lines of code, then you want to see the complete output. Okay. So for those cases, what we have, we call it as session. Okay. Now, in those, we call them editors. Okay. In
Mm-hmm.
those editors, actually, this kind of thing will not work. Where will not work? Where will work? Direct variable name if you give, it will work only on this prompt, the greater than prompt. Okay. It's not going to work if you are doing on the editor. You got it?
No, sorry.
Okay, no problem. Let me show you an example. Um, so what we need to do is we need to, why is this not coming? Okay, you see this R script. The moment you click on R script, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you get this window. Okay, now
R
this
script. Yep.
window is
Mm-hmm.
a called editor. There is no Angular thing here. Here you can write, whatever lines of code you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I am
Mm-hmm.
to write 20 lines of code, I will write 20 lines of code here. It's not
Okay.
running. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if I want to run, then I go and I click on run. It give error. Of course, it give error because this is not valid R program.
Okay.
So in this case, what happens? If you give var1, it will not happen. You have to give print. So let's say if I give var1 equal to hello, and I say var1, it's not printing anything. So we
Okay.
say print.
So
Okay.
so we will get the output all together, right?
Yes. So you get output here.
Okay.
Okay. So there is really
Okay.
no difference between without print and print. But generally, when you are writing in some file kind of application editor, we call them as IDE, Integrated Development Editors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those IDEs are designed to make our life easy, simple. So it will be like Notepad. Okay. Most editors will have a lot of functionalities built into it, a lot of this thing. You write there, you have to say print.
Mm-hmm.
Output will happen on our console, so output will be shown there. In such cases, we do print, but mostly you can use without print as well.
Okay.
Okay, and you can save this program. So another advantage is you can right click, you can say file, save, save project or save file, whatever you want to
Mm-hmm.
do. So if I click on save, it will ask me where I want to do the saving. I can say desktop one dot
Mm-hmm.
r, one dot r.
Yeah.
R is extension for R program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the advantage of using this. Okay, otherwise, if you are on doing a console, this is called a console. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to have a additional print. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So we discussed about, yeah, logical. It can be, true or false. Next one is called float, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
told you float will have decimal. Then you
Yeah.
have something called as complex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Complex. See, when we are doing the small programs, right? Console is better because I want to write one code and then show you the output. If I
Mm-hmm.
have to do it here, I have to click on run again and again. That's additional step.
Yeah.
So small program console is best. But if you have to explain program with 3 4 lines, then the editor will be the best place to work on.
Okay.
So just like when you say var1 equal to hello, which is string, var1 equal to false, this is logical. You have something called as, okay,
Come.
complex.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here you can say var1 equal to 5 plus 4i. 5 plus 4i is I means it's a complex type.
Okay.
Okay, so the moment you say 4i into 4i, it becomes minus 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so now if you want to know, let's say you have a variable and you don't know what kind of value it has, you say class.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So class of, yeah, so just elbow. Yes. So when you say class and you say var1, it gives you. Oh, ah, 1 second. Again, I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back now.
Yeah. No problem.
So
Mm-hmm.
class is a function which will tell you the type of the data you are using, the type of the variable, the variable that you have, what is the type
Okay.
of that variable.
Variable. Okay.
So when I used var1, 5 plus 4i, it is type
Mm-hmm.
complex, right? So you can even say
Yeah.
var2 equal to hello, and now you say class of var2. What should we give you?
It's a correct. Uh, no, it's a string,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, character, right? In R we call it as character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a function.
So it's a function, yes. Okay. So coming back, we talk about, so these are called complex data types. Okay, vectors, lists, matrices, arrays, vectors, and data frames. They are called complex data type. These,
Mm-hmm.
so what we have seen till now are the variables which will have only one value. So when you say uh, var1 equal to hello, var1 has one value, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the complex data type, we're talking about storing multiple values. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
vector and list, they are similar. There's some minor difference which we'll talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at this table one by one.
Okay.
So you see that logical? We discussed about logical, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
logical is true and false. numeric. Okay, numeric is your um, uh, uh, numeric will have
Integer.
decimal point. No, numeric
No,
will
it's
have
a
decimal
float,
point.
right? Mm-hmm.
Float, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, integer will have no decimal point. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
can you just make a note? Okay,
Yeah,
give me 2 minutes.
yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So we spoke about logical, numeric is float, you have integer, you have
Mm-hmm.
complex, you have character, right, with double quote.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something called as raw. Okay, so what raw means, it's saying char to raw is it will store it will convert into um, so every string has a corresponding what you call as ASCII code. Okay, so for example,
Mm-hmm.
H, capital H has a code of 48. Small e has
Mm-hmm.
a code of 65. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
small l has code of 6c. So it's going to convert your string into different character.
Okay.
Okay, that's a functionality,
Okay.
char to raw. So that's the raw is like a code. It's it is a hexadecimal code
Okay.
for each of the characters. We don't need it for our work.
Okay.
So we'll stop here for today. Okay, go through this. Tomorrow we'll talk about these complex data types. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
complex data type means it will have more than one value stored in it.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll talk about this. Then we'll take a break for 2 days. I have to go, go to a customer site. I'll come
Mm-hmm.
back, and then on Sunday we'll meet.
Okay,
Sunday
but
we can.
tomorrow we are going to have session, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
If we change in plan, I'll let you know. But as of
Yeah.
now, we'll have. There's no change in the
Okay.
plan.
And can I have this recording today so that I
Yes,
can
yes.
practice?
So Ram is on the call. Ram, can you forward the recording? He will forward that recording to you.
Okay.
He'll get the file. He'll send us.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
Gaurav, thank you so much. Yeah, I
Yeah.
will today I'll study it.
Yes, yes. So we'll go slow. Once we are comfortable with this program, then we can go faster. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Ram is
Yeah.
saying in 15 minutes we'll get the recording. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.